Mortality. Back now to our paradoxes. If we can say then, is it not likely that the wise will come after him as quickly as they can? And so will any man who has any worthy interest in philosophy as he understands it. And when dead, will they not attain the greatest blessings? Would you not agree that many don't understand why real philosophers or true philosophers desire death? They don't understand why they deserve it, since they've practiced and gone through so much. Nor do they know what kind of death it is, because that's certainly a different idea of death. Therefore, we can go back and say, now we understand this part that we left out earlier and filled it in, that death is the separation of the soul from the body. We can separate it from the state of being dead, and therefore the goal of the philosopher is not to experience the state of being dead, but the experience of the separation of the soul from the body. So, thank you. Let's have some questions and play for a while. Good beginning.
I don't understand the distinction between death and the state of being dead.
Perhaps. If your body remained alone by itself without the soul, I imagine you wouldn't go back into it. Is that right?
Not insofar as it remains alone.
Thank you. And so long as it remains alone without a soul, it's likely then to disintegrate even more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Would you not say you're only alive when the soul is in the body, not alone by itself?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, good. What part didn't you understand?
Aren't they the same thing?
If you're asking me, of course, I'll say no. You don't want to ask me that. You want to see whether you can preserve what difficulty you have in seeing the difference. Let's do it together. Go ahead. If you drop dead, right? Would you agree there's said to be a separation? And then this is alone by itself? And this remains alone by itself? Right? Exists alone by itself? Exists alone by itself? Right.
So
How would you describe this process?
That's purification.
That's true. But here there is a separation and a release, is it not? Here there's a separation, and the soul is released from the body. But can it not then
Return. So this is when the physical body passes away.
State of being dead, that's right. Right.
Whereas the first one can happen while you're alive.
Both here as well as hereafter, that's right. That's right. That's why he put it in, which he needed. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's not condoning the Hale-Bopp experience.
He's not condoning what?
The Hale-Bopp experience. I mean, even though he, under these circumstances, is ready to take the hemlock and kill himself, but it is only because he is a true philosopher and has practiced all these things beforehand, and is...
Well, the hemlock is this.
Right, but I'm trying to understand.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of outside us and yet within tonight's lecture is what is the difference between Socrates being ready to not defend himself and hence from one angle committing suicide, you could say, and the guys in Helen Gate who, for a pseudo-philosophical reason or what to them was true philosophy, did the same type of separation of the body and the soul. So they thought, I mean, God bless them, their souls are in that UFO going wherever they're going. So,
Yes. But they don't expect to come back. Right? They don't expect to come back. This is not a training. This is not a discipline to try to separate. This is we call it today, those people have near-death experiences. And according to Houston Smith and some others, those that have had good acid trips might go through something similar, right? Or
I've been through that.
yeah, okay, yeah. Well, then that's a separation. That's not this. That's not the hemlock. Yeah.
Wait, you said that wasn't a discipline? I thought it was.
I did say it was a discipline.
Yeah,
This is not a discipline.
Got it, okay. I thought you said it wasn't.
No. This physical, let's call this dropping dead.
Sure.
Right? You don't need much practice for that.
The
Right.
interesting thing is
Yeah.
that since I had that separation, I've never been scared of dropping dead.
Oh yeah, of course, of course.
And beforehand I was. but
Yeah,
since
oh
then,
yeah,
you know.
oh yeah. That's a natural consequence. Yeah. So long as you know there's a higher reality than the everyday one that you walk through, you're no longer worried about this being all there is. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Sure.
How does this dialogue relate chronologically to the symposium?
I haven't got the faintest idea. In terms of which one was written first and second?
Well, I know this one was probably one of the last. I was just wondering if it's 2 weeks,
Yeah, okay.
10 years, 30 years.
Yeah. I have never paid any attention to. I know there are many arguments that try to date the early, the middle, and the late dialogues.
The reason I'm trying to date it is,
Yeah, the point might be better. Yeah.
the point is, I would expect a dialogue like this to come from Diotima, not Socrates, based on the symposium. Unless this was separated.
Theoretically, this comes after. That's right, because in the symposium, there's no evidence that Socrates ever experienced it. That's right. But here he's talking first person a lot. Yes, quite true. That's the way I like it. Whether historically it can be defined first, second, or third. Theoretically, this should
It'd be a
come.
nice thing to know.
Yeah, yeah.
What the time span is.
Yeah,
Just interesting.
yeah,
Curious.
yeah. Yeah, good. 1, 2, yeah, sir.
In the Christian tradition, there's, I think, reference made to this a number of times. One of them, for example, is it's at the end of a prayer called the Prayer of St. Francis.
Mm-hmm.
And the closing lines are something like, it is through forgiving that one is forgiven.
Mhm.
It is through dying that one attains everlasting eternal life.
Yeah.
And also
Yeah.
in the Bible, there's various quotes and so forth about dying. Do you see that as a parallel to this?
The key for me is whether or not it's possible to experience it now before you drop dead.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
that's the way I take it.
Yeah. And if it is possible, then for these people who have taken that kind of trip or journey, Socrates calls it a journey, the crisis would be that then they no longer need faith. They know. Right? They don't have to then believe that there's this or that. They've experienced it. Right? That's it. So it would, I think that's true, by the way. I think Meister Eckhart could be cited among that group. And of course, at different times in Church's history, those people had difficulties with the orthodoxy, including St. Francis. But I think it's, just to make sure, that I think this kind of experience is transcultural, and transcultural